I think of this one young woman named Kiwana Lerma. And when I met her, she was a junior in high school on the south side of Chicago. And Kiwana had had just about as difficult a childhood as you can imagine. Her family was fractured, constantly moving around when she was a baby. She was homeless for a while. She had a mother who did care about her, but found it very hard to give her the sort of support and stability that she wanted to give Kiwana. And what this did to Kiwana was what this does to a lot of kids. It made her upset and angry, and she took that anger to school every day. In her 6th grade year, she was sent to the principal's office 72 times, and as a result, she was put in the slow class. And this was one of those slow classes where they just warehoused the kids, where they gave them popcorn and let them watch movies and didn't really try to teach them anything. And so by the time she got to high school, she was way behind and not heading in the right direction. But when I met her, when she was a junior, she was in the midst of this profound transformation. She had gone from having a GPA of 1.8 in her freshman year to being a straight A student in her junior year. And she was convinced that she was going to go to college. And so I followed her through her senior year, and it was a big struggle, but she did get to college. And when she got to college, to Western Illinois University, she was way behind all of the other students, but she worked harder than anyone on campus. And she ended up with an A average at the end of that first year. And she's now a sophomore, and she's determined to graduate in 4 years. And when you read books like mine, you often encounter stories like Kiwana's. And I think they can often be very moving and inspiring, but they can also sometimes leave you feeling a little bit empty, because they can seem so rare and random, that there just happen to be these few kids who somehow magically beat the odds. And what's most exciting to me about this science, this new science, is that I think for the first time it lets us understand in a more complex and nuanced way just what it is that makes Kiwana Kiwana. Both how the environment that she grew up in got her so completely off track, and how the kind of interventions and supports that she wound up getting helped get her so firmly back on track. I met a lot of kids who are success stories like Kiwana's, and I think there are two things that they all have in common. One is that they all have lots of character, that they have deep reserves of grit and self-discipline and optimism. But the other is that they all had help, that there was somewhere along the way that they connected with some adult who was able to reach out to them and connect with them and give them this sense that there was a different sort of future that was possible for them. A lot of times that's a teacher, but not always. Sometimes it's a grandparent, an aunt, a friend, a mentor, a coach. And so my hope is that this research in the end doesn't make us more complacent or fatalistic, that it makes us want to help even more. Because I think that if we can find a way to give that help, not just to a few kids, but to lots of them, we can create millions of Kiwanas, and we can really change the face of education.